Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk.
Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
The Texas Rangers win the World Series.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sale.
This is a cool night or what?
Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Are you ready for another episode of Your Dark Companion? I hope you are. I hope you are very much. Because we have got that very thing for you. Now, we're a little bit light on peeps who are usually here for the start of this thing. So they're going to come trickling in as we go, I guess. Or maybe they won't. I don't know. We'll worry about all that later. But you're here. I'm here. Ashley's here. We're here. We got enough people here to do this. So, yes. So welcome to episode 152. Coming down on the 15th of September. And today, sitting over here in the hot seat, you see him on DLLS. And if you don't know what DLLS is, I know what it is. He knows what it is. And we probably should have him be the one to explain it to you. You've also heard him for many years. If you listen to Stars Radio, he does the Stars postgame show. He's part of the Stars postgame show on the little ticket.
Previously.
Oh, you're not that anymore?
Not with DLS now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. So I've moved on.
Graduated from the little ticket, sort of.
Okay, well then forget about all that. This is something that I was not I guess what I just did is show just how in the loop I am these days. Anyway, he is Owen Newkirk. How are you?
I am thrilled to be here. It's an honor to be next to a legend such as yourself. And I consider very much a privilege that I got to know you at the ticket. And I don't remember. Everybody there had a Rhyner story, right? It was when Mike suddenly acknowledged you or said something nice to you or realized, oh, he doesn't want to decapitate me or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when it was, but it all of a sudden just like, oh, we're good. He doesn't loathe me. And not that you would have, but there was a demarcation that was crossed.
Yeah, I used to be pretty big on trying to get people to not bother me by being intimidating if I could. But I'm not really that way anymore.
No,
I'm a more genteel, more laid back. I got nothing to prove anymore.
Wow. You've done it all.
So I tend to operate a little differently these days.
Well, that's probably good for the mental health, right?
Yeah.
The physical health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been...
I don't carry that kind of angst around anymore.
I'll tell you, though, not to hijack the conversation, but I remember one day we were in the main studio and I was getting ready for a Stars game and you were leaving a Hardline show. And you had done something... I think you had helped write an article about the start of the ticket. And it was with my one of my co-hosts with DLLS, Sean Shapiro. They were starting the upset... And I haven't thought about that in a long time, which was turned into a precursor for the Athletic in Dallas. Because the Athletic
really?
came in and sort of It was something that he and Levi Weaver were doing. Hey,
Shoopy.
What's going on, big guy?
Good to see you, brother.
How are you?
All right. We got part of the crew here. Shoopy is on the scene.
But you wrote something about how the ticket got started, and it was all about the word chemistry and why it worked.
Yeah.
And I asked you a question about it, and you graciously talked to me about it for probably way longer than you had time for. But I was fascinated to hear, because that was so much more important than just about anything else about why that works.
Yeah. There's no question about it. I don't know how or exactly when or why this happened, but somehow we were able to establish chemistry between us very quickly. We kind of had this us against the world thing, you know, because everybody out there thought there was no way we were going to make it, and that kind of brought us all together. and we were able to develop that kind of chemistry, and it brought me around on the entire concept of chemistry. Now I think that in any group endeavor, it's the most important thing that you can have.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
And I don't know if it matters at what stage, what level you're at, because all that really matters is, can you put out something good? And if you don't have that chemistry, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, a startup, an established thing, you know, the top of the heap. If you don't have chemistry, it's not good.
No. But if you don't have chemistry, people are going to see that you don't have chemistry. And when they see that you don't have chemistry, it's church.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. So how are you, man?
Good. You know, it's funny you bring all that up, because I was in a pretty comfortable spot with this, working for the Stars and be doing the shows on the ticket. And I wasn't looking to change. And then the CEO, founder of All City, which is the parent company for DLLS, they started in Denver, and then they expanded to Chicago and Phoenix and Philadelphia, and Dallas is their 5th expansion. And it's all the same idea. Is they do sports podcasting, and they have a different show for each of the major league sports franchises.
Right.
And it's daily, 5 days a week. We do a 1 hour show every day. And then during the season, we'll replace a daily show with a pre and post if there's a game. So we're literally following along with our favorite teams.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a slant initially of, you know, really we're fans just like you. But then in Dallas, they did something a little bit, not that the other affiliates don't have professionals working for them, but they went out and really hired people that were known commodities in the market.
Yeah.
You know, we've got Clarence Hill and Jeff Kavanaugh and Jesse Holley with the Cowboys show. I mean, heavyweights that carry clout in Cowboys circles.
Know them all.
And John Radigan and Jeff Wilson with the Rangers, right? Mm-hmm. These aren't guys that have been fans doing a podcast in their garage. No defense to podcasts. We're doing them here. We do it. We have our little
We're
garage.
in an office, sir.
It's
Did
way
he just
fancier.
refer to our studio as a garage?
No. And then with the Mavericks, right? We have the great Mark Stein and Bobby Carralla. KG is on there, and Tim Cato is on there. And then, of course, we have Craig Ludwig and Sean Shapiro and myself and Sam Nestler. So people that have not, you know, they're not just, and when I said in the garage, I'm certainly not referring to your dark companion. It's more of the, I mean,
that's okay.
Yes,
You throw us in the garage.
Texas
We don't
Radio
mind.
Hall of Famer people. This is Marconi winner.
We don't mind. You can throw us in the garage.
Yeah, but
we're good with it.
It doesn't merit that yet. No, I'm kidding. But no,
give it time.
Yeah.
In seriously, but it's just it's neat to see people that have established themselves in the industry come together and try to create that. And it goes back to our talk about chemistry, right? You have to find that and feel it pretty quickly. Otherwise, and I think we have it, but you know, if it didn't, I don't think it works.
No, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. And if you don't have it, sooner or later, you're going to know it.
Yeah.
You may not know it immediately. It may be one of those things that you try to talk yourself into believing it's there when it's really not. Mm-hmm. But sooner or later, if you don't have it, that house of cards is going to come tumbling down.
And I do think y'all had at least a good start with, you know, you and Sean have been doing stuff together for years. And I think y'all had a pretty natural chemistry already. And then Luddy's awesome. I don't know how much you would have really interacted with him. Like, I'm guessing maybe
but not like this.
Yeah.
Right? We would talk. He was doing TV studio over at the time, Fox Sports Southwest. Then I don't know if he was still doing it when it switched to Bally's, but then he did color with Razor for a little bit when Razor moved to play-by-play for a short period of time. So obviously I had interactions and I knew him, but you know, being a member of a show 5 days a week in perpetuity, as you like to say,
Yes.
that you really you start to know people.
So what do you mean by this? I'm just messing. Craig's his own animal. I helped him with the podcast for a while. He's his own animal.
He is, but also really good at pretending like he doesn't know what's going on, but sharp as attack. He's like, you've got Columbo over there. He's kind of like Columbo because Luds is a savant, especially when it comes to hockey, but he gives you that 1,000-yard stare sometimes like, what do you mean? But he's so good at the poker face.
He leads you to believe that he's pretty much passed out drunk by,
But he's not.
into the first period of most games that he's watching. And then, he's fully aware of everything that's going on the ice, seems to still have pretty good connections off the ice and aware of what's going on there. And then he's just funny as hell. So that's a hell of a group.
They need to remember he can drink a lot.
Yeah,
I've heard legends and I've seen the legend in person.
He's like a viper because he'll lie in wait and you think he's asleep or dead, and then he'll strike when you think you've maybe got the upper hand and you don't. You never had it.
He's a rope-a-doper.
That's sneaky.
Yeah.
That is really sneaky.
Yeah.
Then I don't know as much about Sam Nessler.
Sam's newer to, he was here briefly.
Okay.
Around the COVID time. And then went back to New Jersey and was working for the NHL and the Hockey News. And then they went out and the problem for us was Sean left. Mm-hmm. He lives in suburban Detroit now. He made a life choice. He was still working for The Athletic, and they gave him a national beat. And so he didn't have to be in Dallas, and his wife and his parents and his wife's family are all from Michigan, Ohio, sort of that area. So they did that.
So this is one of those rare occasions where a guy absconds from Dallas to Detroit, huh?
I mean, it's that well-beaten path, right?
That's man bites dog. Especially if you were around in the 80s when we had this massive migration of Michiganders coming down
here.
Yeah. You're probably too young to remember that.
So I've been in Texas since 2012.
Where?
I moved from the Northeast. I'm from Maine. I grew up in New England, and then I was working in upstate New York in minor league hockey when I got the Texas job. It was let's call it a habitat change, that's for sure, because summers up north get warm, but not like they do in Texas. Now, I've been here 13 years now, so I think I'm more accustomed to it.
Yeah, you're used to it now.
Yeah.
Or you better be.
You still don't get used to it.
Yes, that's true, but I can tolerate it way more.
There you go.
The first time, I'll tell you, it's funny because I had a typical northerner reaction. The first time it was like 100 and something degrees, and there was a weather report of a cold front where the high was only 95. I laughed my ass off because I thought that was the most absurd thing I'd heard. A cold front is only 95. Little do you know that after a little while, we celebrate those with everything we have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, down here, it's all in a day's work.
It's incredible. 95 feels like a dream compared to 105, right? So
yeah, the last couple of weeks where we've pretty much broken away from the hundreds and
crossing our fingers here.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And just like this week, I think is going to be the last one for maybe a little while the mid-90s.
I've been here long enough to not say those out loud and worry jinxing another return of triple-digit temperatures.
There's like 5 false falls.
Oh, the worst. Yeah.
Can we talk a little hockey?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Because I have to tell you that I had a long talk with myself after this season ended. And I realized, and this is a confession that I'm making for the first time, that I have become a hockey fan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Mr. Baseball himself.
I missed it when it went away.
Oh.
I was so locked in on the tournament as long as the Stars were in it. It was ridiculous. And I even found myself asking what I think, maybe I'm wrong about this, but what I think, I've been able to formulate what I believe to be semi-literate, intelligent questions about the game of hockey.
I'm sure they'll be wonderful.
Well, I'm not going to whip any out now because there's
No pressure.
there's no hockey to look at now. But,
I mean, there's still stuff to talk about.
but yeah, there's still stuff to talk about. But as far as
You're not gonna
asking
show 'em the
questions
full
about
arsenal.
what happens in a game, well, there's no game right now.
That's right.
That's fair.
But
Do you know we're less than a week away from the first preseason
yes,
game?
I do.
How about
know
that?
I do know
Hockey
that.
starts this week.
Wow.
That's awesome, Shoopy.
And boy, it really snuck up on us too. I mean, when did they start training camp?
Thursday. And
This past Thursday?
No, this coming Thursday.
this coming
As
Thursday.
in this week. And then 2 days after, they'll play St. Louis for the first preseason game.
Wow.
Seems quick.
Training camp isn't about getting in shape anymore, right? You remember back when the Stars moved here in the early 90s, those guys had to go through a couple weeks to get up to snuff.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that anymore. These guys, if you're not in shape and ready to go when training camp starts, you're behind. And players train. I mean, I think it's right this way with all sports, right?
Yeah.
Spring training baseball isn't about detoxing. It's about fine tuning for the season.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, but maybe a couple decades, it was about getting yourself in baseball shape again, right?
Yeah.
So different because they spend all their offseason training, getting in peak condition, and ready to go.
How much downtime do you think the average player has between end of season and when he starts really getting ready for the start of training
Less
camp?
and less. And I think that can be dangerous to not take some more time off, especially for parts of your body that you really stress throughout a season.
Yeah.
I know that older players feel like they can't take time off because it'll be too hard to get back up to that level.
Yeah.
And, you know, as we age, you take a vacation and then you feel like it's going to take you weeks to catch up.
Check out this guy talking about aging.
So
Fair enough.
in the soccer world, we used to talk about how it takes like 6 days to get out of shape and then 3 weeks to get back into it.
What part of the soccer world?
I played pro soccer for
Did
a
you?
hot minute, yeah.
No.
Played TCU and then
There you go.
select all around here in from DFW.
Wow.
Not that cool.
No?
I played back in the day where we were all schmucks and we just happened to be able to play.
I
'cause
mean,
we were there.
I worked for FC Dallas for a little while.
Okay. So-
Broadcasting games and
Yeah.
played
Love
a little.
Gina.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we had coaches that would stress that to us like 6 days and you're out of shape. So just be ready for it.
So
Okay.
I think they work pretty hard all the time, and they're almost compulsive about their craft. So I think a lot of them spend a lot of time on the ice, even in the summertime.
So who was here last year that's not going to be here this year?
Well,
Let's start there.
Let's start with Mason Marchment. He's not here anymore. He got traded.
Now, I found out about this like yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. That surprises me, and that concerns me a bit.
It should be, because there's a spot on the line with Matt Duchene and Tyler Sagan on their left wing, which he played, that is now yet to be claimed. Because the Stars paid Mikko Rantanen $12 million a year for 8 years, which is the cost of doing business.
Right.
They were able to
Going
get
rate.
him, and you want guys like him. But the casualties of a salary cap world are you can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
And so to make room, they had to trade away Mason Marchment. They traded him to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
They traded Matt Dumba away to create cap space, although Dumba didn't have as nearly as an impactful year as Marchment did.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was as much of a loss, all due respect to Matt Dumba. But then they also could not sign in free agency the guys they brought in during the trade deadline, in Mikael Granlund and Cody Ceci. So I know both really wanted to stay, and the Stars didn't have anywhere near the space. So There are. And then they let Evgeny Dodonov go in free agency, and he signed with New Jersey. So those are 4 or 5 players that will have to be accommodated for from within because they wanted to give Mikko Rantanen a king's ransom. And I think he deserves it too, but you have to make those choices.
Yeah, if you're going to make a big move like that, you got to tote the note.
And that's why there's a bit of cautious concern. This is still a very good roster. Really good roster. Not many teams in the league that are better. But it's not necessarily as good as it was in April, May, and June.
And you know, the thing about the game of hockey that I've come to realize is that everybody has got stars. Every team has got 2 or 3 guys at the top of their roster. Those are their stars. But the ones that make the difference are down below. The ones that make the difference are the worker bees.
If your top guys cancel out the other team's top guys or sort of balance them out, then you can really find advantages if your middle 6, bottom 6 players are better 3rd and 4th line guys, your depth guys. Yes, absolutely. And you need those guys to be effective while not making nearly the kind of salary that the big guys command. Because unlike back when our buddy Luds played, where they didn't have a salary cap, and if they wanted to pay for them, they had every right to do so. Mm-hmm. There's a salary cap. Now it keeps going up, and that's good, but you can't pay everybody.
But, you know, when you look at it, probably every team or every sport has its team structured that same way. You know, they've all got their stars. They've all got their big money guys. Yep. And the ones that make the difference are what you've got down below. And you know what? I'll bet before this thing's all said and done, we're going to see that with the Dallas football Cowboys. Mm. And I don't mean in a necessarily good way.
Oh, dear. You haven't been impressed by Shoddy yet? And his group?
I'm very impressed by Shoddy.
Okay.
I mean, I really like him.
The best player on the team right now is Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing.
All right, as long as we're going to go down this road.
I'm ready for it.
I think Brandon Aubrey is better at doing that thing that he does. Now, he's a one-trick pony, granted. But he is better at doing that thing that he does than any player in any sport on any team in our Fairburg.
Damn.
Wow.
Talk me out of it.
So, Rangers, Stars, Mavs.
Is he the number 1 player in his position in the NFL? Is he the best kicker in the league?
By far.
I would say so, yeah.
So is there anybody, to your point, is there anybody in DFW that can make that claim other than him?
Used to be Luka.
Used to be Luka.
Yeah, it used to be Luka. In fact, Luka was, when I first started conjuring this notion up, the first guy I thought of was, well, now, Luka. But guess what? Luka's not here anymore.
There was a time.
There was a time when you would have a very, very strong discussion about this. And
yeah.
prior to that awful night in February, when I was sitting at the Lakewood Landing, just looking for something, this is a hoax text.
You know exactly where you were when you found out.
Oh, yeah,
yep,
I do.
It's one of those seminal moments.
Yes.
Yep.
It is. I was madly scrolling through my phone looking for this is a text hoax. And I looked up and found 4 or 5 people standing around me, watching me. Like they knew what I was doing. And they expected me to say, okay, I found it. It's off. It's a joke.
Well, the fact that even the guy that reported it had to follow up saying this is not a hoax.
Yeah.
This tweet is real or something like that.
And it's still way worse than Micah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Micah, we at least saw coming.
We saw it coming, and there was a dispute and all that. And it's tough because I don't think it's the right move for the Cowboys. But
we got Clowney now. It's okay.
It's all better. But it was in the public specter for a long time. You could see this sort of heading toward that direction.
Yes.
The Luka was a blindside of all blindsides.
It is the most catastrophic sports event we have ever had in this town.
So we actually went to my family. We went to a Mavs game. I think it was in early January. We saw them play the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they were really good, and they beat the Mavs. Luka had his calf injury, so he didn't play, and Kyrie had the flu. So we saw him play without Luka and Kyrie. Then this happens, and my younger son is a Phoenix Suns fan. Again, he's also the Pirates fan, so he's all over the map.
Your son has no loyalty.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Hey, when you're a kid,
Seahawks fan too.
What?
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it's real easy to get distracted by stuff.
I think he's a fan of those teams because of a particular player at one point, and then sticks with it.
We've had this discussion recently about how one player can like flip somebody's fandom real quick.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, he started being a Seahawks fan of Russell Wilson, and then when Russ got traded to the Broncos, he kept cheering for the Seahawks.
I would feel best.
Well, but yesterday was a good day for him.
It was a wild day.
I would feel way better if you
Seahawks
said he
did
was a
win.
Yankees or a Red Sox fan like you and your wife.
Well, my oldest is a fan of all the sports. I've indoctrinated him well. My youngest, I didn't. So anyway, we go to that Suns game. It was a month after, so it was in March. And Kyrie's done for the year. Half the team's hurt, right? We're seeing the G League guys play. And it was still fun. They lost, of course. But I had a moment because I had to do a Stars show at DLLS, which is down by the House of Blues and Dick's Last Resort. So it's very close. But I didn't have to go away. So I wasn't in a hurry to leave. So we kind of let the patrons file out. And I remember walking up. I had to go. We ended up at the west side of the AAC. So we had to walk all the way around to the big entrance, the east side to the plaza and out that way. And I'm walking out, and there are Luka shirts and jerseys everywhere. This is a month after the trade. And again, we all felt this, but I'm just saying it's everywhere. It's tattooed with 77. And you're going, what have they done? Do they have any idea what they've done? Because this place embraced him so quickly, and he was their guy.
Yes.
And they took him away.
Yeah. I mean...
Still,
it was for lack of a better comparison, it was Dirk-like.
Yeah,
you know,
very, and so much faster because Dirk he was 21 years.
Yeah, Dirk didn't come in as quite the he
wasn't a finished product.
Yeah, quite the polished product that Luka did, but still, I mean, if you look for the upside of Dirk, you could see it.
Sure.
And fortunately, they had people around at the time who knew how to get it out of him. And you know the rest of the story.
And he became beloved.
Yes.
Luka, it felt like they attached to him almost immediately.
Yeah. There was no getting it out of it, having to get it out of him.
No.
He came ready to roll.
And did things that you just watch and go, man, I mean, the Luka Magic stuff was just crazy.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about this ever since the end of the season, and we're going to know here before too terribly much longer. But I just wonder what the start of this season is going to be like, and what it's going to be like when people show up for the games. You know, I mean, we've all had months to digest it and months to get our head right with it. That's one thing, but it's going to be another thing to go to the game, and he's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have Cooper Flag, and we're clearly going to see how Nico's plan all worked out.
They're
finally
very
seeing
lucky.
the
Defense
vision.
wins championships.
They're really lucky. I keep thinking about what if they didn't win the lottery and get Cooper, and who knows if it's all a behind-the-scenes rigor by the NBA to go, we got to save Dallas.
You will never, ever, and I'm not one to fall for stuff like this, but you will never, ever convince me that was on the up and up.
It feels very fishy, doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
man, incredibly so.
Yeah.
I mean, there must have been people scurrying around at NBA headquarters going, look, we got to do something for Dallas.
Otherwise, if they went into this season without Cooper Flag, if you just had their current roster, does the building fill up halfway?
No. No, it doesn't.
I mean, there would have been more riots, more protests.
It does not fill up halfway.
Yeah.
Now, Cooper Flag will give you some hope, but people better be forewarned. Number one, he's a rookie.
Yep.
And I don't care how good you are, it takes you a little bit of time to find your footing in the NBA. And number two, if you think that he's going to come in here and replace Luka, he is a very, very different player with a very, very different skill set. Mm-hmm. Now, does he have a chance to be really good? Yeah. Does he have big upside? Yeah. Is he singular in that he can do something that nobody else out there on the floor can do? I don't know about that.
We'll find out, won't we?
We will. We will indeed. God, I totally lost my train of thought. Where were we?
I think we went from the Cowboys to the Rangers.
Oh yeah, the
to
singular talent
the Mavs.
and all that.
That's right.
Like, who's better than Brandon Aubrey at their
Oh yeah, that's
what
we're
one
talking about.
specific skill or something like that.
You know, you need to come in here more often. We don't have chats like
I was gonna
this.
say,
usually.
follow that roadmap.
Yeah, I mean, usually we get somebody in here and we talk to them about what they do, and we stay largely on course.
Well, I'm here to take you a left
you
turn.
came in here and just knocked us off course.
I'm
He learned from Luddy.
happy to do it. We're here to talk about whatever, right?
Damn right.
There's no agenda here. I'm
No,
here.
there is no agenda.
I'm happy to go whichever path you steer or don't.
Well,
Maybe we'll
thank
just
you.
crash right into the trees.
Well, getting back to Brandon Aubrey, I don't know of a guy around here, and Luka's the only one that I could ever possibly think of who can do what he does as well as Brandon Aubrey can do what he does. And he is so straight line about it. It's not even funny.
You remember Dan Bailey kicking for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
When he was at his prime.
Yeah.
He was automatic.
He was good.
Brandon Aubrey reminds me of Dan Bailey before he got hurt and then started getting the yips. And I remember you talking quite a bit about this on the radio. But when he was good, he was really good.
Yes.
Brandon Aubrey's got a 10, 15, 20-yard range longer and that same pinpoint,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
And I'll bet at some point, maybe this year, maybe not, but at some point, they're going to let Brandon Aubrey try a 70, 75-yard field goal. And you know what? I wouldn't bet against it.
Hell yeah.
So a couple years ago, I was still working for the Stars, and we got invited as a company to compete in a kickball tournament out at Jerry World at the Death Star between the Cowboys, the Rangers, the Mavs, and the Stars. And I was still working for FC Dallas at the time, too. They were very upset that they were not included. It was the Big Four, not the Big Five. And they're like, we're soccer, kickball. Like, come on. They got invited the next year. So it was actually my first time going to AT&T Stadium. I hadn't gone to a football game there. The cost, the time commitment, the crowds, the parking, it's quite an ordeal.
Yeah.
And so this is absurdity, Ryan's of it, is the first time I set foot inside AT&T Stadium, I went and played kickball on the field, standing at the 50-yard line on the Star. And I have a point to this, because you stand at the 50 and you look all the way down to the end zone, and that is a long way. Yes, it's 60 yards, but it feels like it's a mile. And now you back up behind the Star, which is where he kicked that game-tying 64-yarder. And it's insane to think that you can blast a football with your foot that far. And we're talking about, well, maybe you can do it by 10 yards and beat it. But I kind of believe he could do it.
Yeah, I definitely believe he can do it.
Soccer players are built differently for that.
There you
They
go.
can do it.
And, you know, it's
He doesn't. believe
it's
soccer's a
almost
sport.
automatic with him. Like, he was not fazed in the least by getting out there and setting up for 64 yards. You know, he had the same flatline look on his face that he does every time you see him. If that guy has any kind of definable personality about him, I'd love to know what it is. And I for sure haven't seen it yet.
You know what's really interesting about him, and I heard this, I think it was our old colleagues, Dan and Jake, doing their Dumb Zone, had him on. I think they probably had him on since, but it was a while ago. And it was fascinating because I didn't really think about how kickers prepared. they're trying to, and he explained this, they're literally trying to take human emotion out of their craft. They're trying to be as mechanical and robotic as possible to literally replicate same steps, same wind up, same kick. So you don't worry about pressure, distance, all the things we're trying to become a machine.
Yeah.
And it makes sense from a mentality because of all the, the stakes, the money involved. You've got a 53-man roster and it all hinges on whether you can kick a ball through an upright. You probably don't want to think too much about it, right? But he's trying to become a robot kicker. And he sure looks like it.
Yeah, he does look like it.
Yeah.
God, he's so great, though. I remember when I was a kid, the field goal record for most of my ill-spent youth in the following the NFL was 56 yards by a guy named Burt Rachachar of the Baltimore Colts, who also played some other position. But he kicked a 56-yard field goal, and everybody's going, oh, man, we'll never see that again. And then Tom Dempsey came along with the Saints. And he was the guy with like half a foot,
Oh, the flat front toe.
Yeah. And he made one from 63.
Good grief.
And we're going, oh, man, we'll never see that again. And now here is Brandon Aubrey. And, man, he's nowhere near done yet.
It wasn't that long ago where a 50-yarder was a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
A very exciting,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he'll make it, maybe it won't have enough distance. Feels like 50 yards is expected now. If you have a 55-yard field goal, if you're worth your salt, you better make that kick.
Yeah, if you're going to kick in the NFL, you got to hit him from 50.
That's crazy.
There's no two ways about it. You got to hit him from 50.
It used to be
crazy.
48 yards was a long field goal. Now it's like a chip shot.
Yeah, that's kid stuff.
It
now.
is kid stuff. Don't tell Scott Norwood that.
All right.
Poor guy.
I know. Still taking strays.
Yeah.
This is Owen Newkirk here. And I must say, I'm enjoying this chat with you quite a bit.
as well.
Right now, though, we have to stop down for the dreaded and feared Owen mid-show read. Yes, this is where I talk to you about the pain, the anxiety, the sleepless nights in your world, and just how you would like to free yourself of these things. It can be done, and guess what? You can do it naturally. The CBD House of Healing is the place you need to go because they only carry products from their lab. They are made to meet the highest quality and purity standards. You can find your relief from the aches and the pains, the emotional stress, and drain and sleep again. Shop online at cbddallas.com or in person and grab a slushie while you're there. You'll like those. They're at 8550 Plano Road, Suite 101 in Dallas. That is at the northeast quadrant of the burgeoning intersection of Plano Road and Northwest Highway. So go out there, talk to them. And look, when you go in, there's a lot of these places. You're going to go in there and tell them what's going on, tell them what you want. They'll look over at something, grab it, and say, try this. They don't do that at the CBD House of Healing. They talk to you and find out exactly what's going on. Their owner, who happens to be an RN, knows about this stuff. And when you tell her what's going on, she will know what to do about it. Start your healing at the House of Healing. And effective now, all vape products will be sold online only. Go to @cbddallas.com for those. Is that it?
Nailed it.
That's all we got? How about that? Did you like that?
We survived.
All right. We did survive. We've gotten through this whole thing today and nobody's died here yet.
I'm proud of us.
That's pretty good.
We still have a long way to go, guys.
It's true.
We do have a long way to go. This is Owen Newkirk of DLLS. He does the stars on DLLS. So if you like stars coverage, he is your go-to guy. He did the stars pre- and post-game show for years on the little radio, on the little ticket. which is where we first encountered him. And how are you feeling about what the team's got this year?
Well, I'm still very optimistic this is a good team. But there are some questions because, as I was talking to you earlier, before we got into a really fun circuitous route, which we can go back to that at any time.
Hell yeah.
But
And we just may.
Pretty much a definite.
I mentioned to you the players they lost.
Yeah.
Marchment. Of course, CC, Granlund, Dumba. They have to have players step up into those roles. Dodonov was the other one.
Do they have those on hand, or are those organization guys, or did they go out and get into free agency? Or
a little bit. So they brought Radek Faksa back. He was here for a long time. They drafted him.
Yeah.
He was in the AHL. In fact, he came out of juniors when the first year I was in Austin in Cedar Park. That was back in 2012-13. So that's how long I've lived in Texas. Was we moved to Austin, and then after 2 years there, moved to Dallas. And so Faksa was a kid, still a kid by our standards, but he's in his 30s now, which is getting old for hockey, which seems absurd in real life, right?
oh God,
Yes.
tell me about it.
Nothing like hearing I actually yelled at one of our members of our company that is in their 20s, getting late 20s, almost 30, feeling very old. And I said, you stop that right now. I'll have none of that. But anyway, I feel like there are some internal pieces that can step up into those roles, but we have to see. So Cody Ceci played pretty good minutes on the back end on defense, penalty kill. They're hoping that, as you saw in the playoffs, our big giant Swiss defender, Leon Bixel, steps into that role and plays more, because remember, he's huge. He hits everything that moves. Kind of enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
And now this will be his first full season. He actually started the year in the AHL last year. So even though he played a nice role in the playoffs, he still hasn't gone wire to wire in the NHL yet.
Yeah.
And he's only 21. Speaking about being young. So you hope he takes a step. Nils Lundqvist got hurt his shoulder mid-season last year. He's the young Swede. He's not as big as Leon. In fact, he's quite the opposite, but he's quick. He's got lots of skill. Can he take a step and add more? Alex Petrovic, who's the old guy on the beat because he's in his 30s. Again, I laugh every time I hear that. But he, barely played in the regular season, was down in the AHL. But for the last two postseasons, he played a prominent role, both the year before and last year, going to the conference final. I don't think he goes down this year. I think he stays on the NHL roster from the get-go. Now, he might be the guy that's maybe your seventh defenseman, so maybe he's in and out depending on who you're playing and who's playing well or not. But it's pretty cool to see a guy sort of find his NHL game late in his career after probably thinking that time was up.
Yeah.
So that part's interesting. On the front side, up from the forwards, is it Maverick Bourque? Is he going to be, he was a rookie last year. He's a very high-end, skilled first-round pick. Can he step in and fill Marchment's void offensively? Maybe not physically because he's a different player.
Yeah.
And he's not 6'4" like Marchment was. Marchment is a big, big guy. But maybe he steps in. Sam Steele, who's been a really, really good find as a guy who was a first-round pick in Anaheim, then goes to Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't offer him a contract, and Dallas has got him on the cheap. And he's a guy that plays. He's a perfect guy, center of your third or fourth line. But maybe because he's got skill, maybe he can play in that role. So those are some of the. And then they picked up Nathan Bastian this summer, free agent, 6'4", 210, 215. Not a lot of offense, but hits everything that moves.
Where'd they get him from?
New Jersey.
Okay.
And he is a guy who's in his late 20s, I think, maybe almost 30. Been with New Jersey for a while, knows the league, has some experience. And maybe he can, you bring a couple guys in like Fox and Bastian, you add a little more beef on your forward group. Because the Stars are very talented, very skilled. Rantanen is, as they call him, he's a moose. But not everybody up front for Dallas is Jamie Benn size.
Yeah.
So maybe adding, I wonder about that. And of course, the big change is coach. That was a rather notable off-season move, was it not?
I would say so. Were you surprised that they went back to a guy who had already been here?
They got fired by the GM.
That's great a story, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the first things Jim Nill did when he was hired as GM was to fire Glenn Gulutzan as head coach. So I overlapped with Gully, but I missed him in the AHL. He had been promoted to the Dallas head coach the year before I got to Cedar Park. And they spoke glowingly about him in the AHL organization because he had been there, I think, 2009 to 2011 and was really successful when they first started there. They moved there. And then I met him once or twice during the lockout shortened season, that 12-13 season, because he was coming down to watch our games because there weren't any NHL games for those first few months. But again, super nice guy, but, just a few sort of, I wouldn't call them perfunctory conversations, but just, nice to meet you. Hey, how are you? That kind of thing. I was in my 30s at the time. I was still quite young. So anyway, I've gotten to know him a little bit, but not as well as I will as we go forward. But we had him on our show, and I'll tell you what, he sold himself very well. Now, we'll see how it plays out. But he talks so much about, and I thought this was really very self-aware. He said he should have been fired by Jim Nill because that was his first NHL coaching experience.
Yeah.
Now he's 12 years later. He was an assistant for Vancouver. He was a head coach in Calgary. He's been the assistant with Edmonton and working with some pretty marquee players, guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, two of the best in the league right now.
Yes, sir.
Or the architect of one of the best power plays, the best power play in the NHL. So he says, I think he used the word scars. I have the scars, the battle wounds now that I didn't have with Dallas last time. I think he'll do very well. It'll be different because he and Pete DeBoer are not the same type of coach. Now, they know a lot of the same styles and tactics and stuff, but they are going to be different. There's different philosophies. Every coach is different, right?
Sure.
They all bring their own to it.
Yeah.
And maybe what he brings will be what they need to get over the hump, because it's definitely apparent that Pete DeBoer has a shelf life. He's an excellent coach. He's really, really good. But I don't think he can stay in one place too long before his very sharp but maybe a bit too stubborn approach starts to wear a little thin.
And he seems to be developing maybe a reputation of being difficult with goalies, especially. I realize at this point it's pretty much two, right? With Otter and was it Fleury?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, Flower.
Robin Leonard there as well.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
There was some big issues there. I don't know if you recall the photo released by Marc-Andre Fleury's agent a few years back with a big, giant, I can call it a claymore, big sword right through his back. And that was all in response to how Pete DeBoer was handling Marc-Andre Fleury in Vegas.
Yeah.
That drew some headlines. So he sort of has a reputation of not being the easiest coach on goalies.
I'm getting the drift that you fully expected that to happen at the end of the year.
Not until Game 5 against Edmonton, when they pulled Jake Ottinger after the 2 quick goals.
Yeah.
And this was the game that eliminated the Stars. And Jake goes to the bench, and Pete rightly he used his timeout. So he's barking at the players. He's mad. They have off to a horrible start in this game, elimination game. They have to win. Season is on the line. And then they break the huddle. Jake turns and starts to skate back to the net. And that's when Pete realizes, oh, I didn't tell him I'm pulling him.
That's what happened?
That's what you say. And then he yells at him, hey, you're out of here. And here's the thing. You want to pull your starter because 2 quick goals and you're trying to shake it up? Great. You want to use your timeout to try to shake the team up and get them out of their funk. Why do both? You're wasting 2 bullets on one task.
Yeah.
Use the timeout, pull the goalie. You don't have to do both. But he did. And then the part that really started this whole, avalanche, this snowball, was his post-game comments where he called Jake out individually.
Yeah.
He's lost 6 of 7 in the last 2 years to Edmonton. Not the team. He.
Yeah.
And that's when things really started to go sour.
Watching this from a distance and being a hockey idiot, I've got to say I fully expected that to happen.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you? I mean, surely you did too.
At that point, for sure, because I could still see them saying, hey, we're right there. They've had more wins. They had the best point percentage over the last 3 years we beat DeBoer than anybody else in the NHL. 3 straight conference finals. They're close. But that, and then we find out Jim does an interview later saying that around the Four Nations tournament last year, which would have been late February, Pete was telling Jim that he feels like he's pressed every button he can press. And that is illuminating when your coach starts to run out of ways to motivate his team. I'm using everything I can do. Now what?
And if he's saying that, he's got to know that his shelf life is short, right?
And he made an interesting comment. So Pete actually did his first interview. It came out yesterday, I think. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. The time blurs very quickly, doesn't it?
What year is it?
Exactly. And he said, if they had gotten to the first round his first year and knocked out in the second round and then the conference final, you see some growth. You say, hey, we're going in the right direction. But they've been conference final 3 years in a row. I mean, I don't want to throw shade at the Cowboys, but they would kill for that right now.
Go ahead and throw shade at the Cowboys.
Fair enough. It's been a few decades. And yet, think about the standard. Think about the expectation level. Because going into this season, if the Dallas Stars don't make it to the conference final, it'll be considered a failed season. Maybe. Maybe if they lose to a really good team like a Colorado or a Vegas or something like that, you go, 2 big teams went head-to-head and one team came and you were on the wrong side. Last year they beat Colorado in the first round. Colorado could have won the whole thing. So maybe that. Look at Edmonton. Edmonton has lost in the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. And if they don't win the Stanley Cup this year, it'll be a failure, which is insane.
I don't know. I've always been of the idea that there is something to be said for getting there.
Yes. You can't expect championship or bust, can you? That's a high bar for a fan base.
It's a high bar for a rational fan base.
Fair enough.
But the better part of fan bases aren't rational. They want it all, and they want it right now, and they want it yesterday.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it, then they want to know why, and they want something done about it.
And they want someone's head on a platter.
Yes, they like that.
Oh.
They like that. And usually they get it. Every fan base except the Cowboys. They'll get a new coach, but so what?
August 8th, always a fun day in Dallas, wasn't it?
Oh,
that was different. It's 17-game season, but 8-8 was a very staple of the early years of me living in this area. It was the Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here we are, August 8th, Cowboy Day. But Groobs, I fell in love with Groobs.
Oh.
I was not here when you were running the board at the ticket. I wish I had been, because the stories are legendary. But you were running.
He was incredible.
I bet he was. Because he was doing the music, the DJ work for the Stars home games. And when I first got here, I'll never forget this. The first game we did, they had an introduction to Groobs on the big Jumbotron. And Jeff K does this, hey, everybody check out, here he is, Groobs. And the place goes nuts. And I went, who is this guy?
For what it's worth, it was, we called it the whip around, where Jeff K starts off, introducing himself. Then I think he throws it to Selena Ray. and then throws it to me and I play a fun song or something like that. So it wasn't specifically me.
But man,
for
there
the
was
record,
a
but
pop when your face popped up on that screen. You hit a button, you started dancing. And I realized very quickly we had something special here. 'cause
something's wrong with this guy.
They don't do that with every music person at every sporting event.
I like to party.
There's only one Shoopy.
But no, and that was the fun thing was getting to know Owen through, all the post-game shows and all that. I would try to swing by at least every few games to, at least wave to you and Bruce and
always letting
all
us
that.
know he was going home while we were still working.
Yeah, especially my last couple years with the Stars. I lived right next door.
That's perfect.
Oh, it was glorious.
Yeah, he'd just turn and wave bye-bye as he on his way out, living 40 steps away.
Homer Simpson fading into the bushes.
Just sucking back into the hedges.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, no, we look, Chippy's great. Chippy does it now, and he does a great job. But I've said this to Groobs privately. I'll say it publicly. We miss him still because there's nobody. What some of the things that he would do, boy, real next level stuff.
Plus, I just didn't really know
guy.
hockey that well, so I was like, well, I better be funny if I'm going to do this damn job.
Might as well, right? Have some fun with it. We lost you to the Rangers for a bit, but that was for a great reason. And
that was a good time. And
now you're here.
Yeah, then getting to play radio again with that guy and now playing podcast in the garage with him.
It's a really nice garage, though.
It's
It's
two-car garage.
almost like a house.
It might be a three-car garage if we renovate.
If we renovate,
Yeah.
I have to knock down a few walls for that, but we can make that happen.
Yeah. We'll call Freak Jesus. He'll help us out.
I love it.
Well, Owen Newkirk, it has been great having you in here, man.
Hell yeah.
Gone by so fast.
You are a cool cat. You are a cool cat and
He's a delight.
a veritable font of Stars poop, and we certainly appreciate that.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'll tell you, and I'm not saying this just because you're here, but I didn't think I necessarily had a lot to learn when I got to Dallas, but I did. And some of the things that I have incorporated the most is stuff I learned listening to you guys on the ticket, and because I didn't know anything about the station until I got the job. And now it's, it permeates you, right? It
Yeah.
becomes part of you. You can't avoid it anymore.
No.
But I learned so many things. Pacing, slow down. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Don't be such a hurry, because I'm a fast talker by nature.
Right.
But then you hear your old stuff, or you hear Sturm's old stuff, and he's talking about Sparky Anderson at 3 times speed, and you're going, or metal bats, right? Or whatever it is. And you're going, it's okay. But you know what? The one that's even better than that is I learned, especially listening to you on the hard line, you have to know the answers to the questions the audience are going to have on your initial topic, right? And that's the preparation that you don't see on the shows. It's, I'm going to tell you about Brandon Aubrey. Well, where did Brandon Aubrey come from? Well, I already researched that, so I know where he came from. What makes him so good? Well, I've figured that out, right? It's having the second and third layers ready. And that was invaluable to learn from watching you guys.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure that I haven't seen you on DLLS yet, but I'm going to.
I hope so.
I'm sure you're killing it over there, just like you did on the post-game show.
We should have you on to talk Stars with Luds in the 90s.
Oh, man.
Charity challenges and all the things that implies.
We need that.
You think we need that?
I think we do, Shoopy.
I think the fan base.
I think Shoopy would be better at that than me.
Can you imagine a memory lane discussion on our show between you and Craig Ludwig? I'll bet you there are some wonderful stories from between 1993 when they came here and when he retired after the 99 Cup.
But how much can be said publicly?
That's always a question. As much as you're willing to share.
Well, you say the word. I'll be there for you,
I
man.
think it should be Luds, Ralphie, and Mike.
Holy crap.
Ooh,
Okay.
boy.
Well, I don't need to be on that show. I can just watch.
No. You've got to moderate, because if not, you'll never get them off the air.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
they'll
very
just keep
true.
talking.
Said from very much experience.
What a quartet.
But we actually want to have Groobs on as well, because I believe he and our boss Ben are talking about a Groobs chaos day of him just coming in and torpedoing every show.
Kool-Aid Manning every single show.
You should, because we don't have enough Groobs in our life.
I think you got plenty. I know I've had plenty. I'm tired of me.
Nobody ever gets tired of you, Shoopy.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. All right. See, that's what made him famous.
Literally.
That's what did it for
I think
him.
literally that drop.
That put him where he is.
Not even just a fart, but that specific
Is
one.
that the number 4?
For me, for this one, it's number 2.
Okay.
Ironically. What a stupid life.
God, that's almost wet.
Oh. That's what I was going to say. I don't know. One more time. That's pretty wet.
It's pretty
That's
dirty.
very
filthy.
wet. Oh, awful.
Disgusting.
It's like a Paul Skeens curveball.
That's right.
It's filthy.
All right. Let me tell you one more thing before we go, and that is that you can find all of our episodes on our Patreon page. You can also find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. So listen, follow, share us on your social media. That means everything to those of us who swim in the waters of the podcast. And while we're at it, if you're feeling what we're throwing down here, how about a nice review? If you're by the channel on Spotify or Apple Podcast, you can help others find us by leaving a review. So you do that for us. We will keep doing this for you. Thank you, Owen. Really appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me. It was an absolute pleasure.
All right. That is YDC for today. Bye.
All right. I'm going to go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.